Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's top trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Thank you for joining me this morning at 8:45. I have a lot of stocks to cover. Some of them were from yesterday that played out perfectly. I'm going to go over those. I still have a couple different levels for AMD and Nvidia, as well as the SMH. So I'm going to go over those. And then I'm also going to talk about Bitcoin, what I'm noticing in the RSI, and a potential bottom in Bitcoin. It's not confirmed yet, but it could be there. And I'm going to give you a good trade setup on BITO as well. So you want to stay tuned to the end of that. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to go over AMD. We've been tracking this, and it's actually been playing out pretty nicely every time that we've entered this. So now I have additional levels if we do have AMD continue to flush. If it continues higher today, like the rest of the markets seem to be doing, I do have a shortable level on this chart. Here's the first thing we're going to look at is AMD right here. We still have this head and shoulders pattern that's still in play. I will mention, though, this head and shoulders pattern does have a slightly declining neckline, which doesn't give it as much credence as an inclining trend line. One thing that I do note about this is if a daily closing basis, if price action gets back above this, you can stop out if you decide to short this. For today, or let's go into yesterday's trade. So I had mentioned long at $195. I actually took this trade in the live day trading room. Could have actually played this twice. We played it one time at a Pierce of $195. We got in this, took $3 gain. It was a great play. Now, look at this gap fill in the charts. $214.88 is corresponding with not only a previous gap fill in the charts, but also a current gap in the charts. If price action can make its way up there, this is where I'm going to start a short. $214.88 is that shortable level. If it closes above this gap fill on a 15-minute closing basis, I will stop out of this trade and then wait for another move above $220. Nvidia is another stock that we went over yesterday. $170.29 was that gap fill. Look at how price action got right into that level. It did pierce it, but then all of a sudden it took off to the upside. From that level, it's been now pre-market, it's $180, 6% move from that gap fill. Look at how supportive this was. This was actually a pretty major gap fill in the charts for Nvidia. This was a 23% move to the upside. There are people who were wishing that they were getting into this trade at this level. And so once price action gets down there, people are scooping this up. And so you see, this is what happened. If it gets up to $182.55, you do have this gap in the charts from Monday. If it gets up into this level, there will be people who were out of this trade wishing the price action would have continued up. They're feeling the pain. Once price action gets up into this level, there will be some people who are exiting. We want to take advantage of that and drive the price down with them. So again, short Nvidia at $182.55. SMH never got to our long level. I had mentioned $326.13. Here's the chart that we've actually been monitoring the SMH as well as the AMD charts for quite some time. It does have a broken upsloping parallel channel. If we can retest that broken upsloping parallel channel and hit the upper end of a wide range red bar candle, this is going to be an awesome short opportunity. This would be more of a swing trade. If price action closes back inside of that upsloping parallel channel, we can go ahead and stop out. Then price action is likely to continue to head higher. So here's the upsloping parallel channel that I mentioned. Here's this wide range red bar candle. This was over a 6% drop in one day, reversing all of this price action. Now, once price action gets back up into this level at $348.68, this is where I'm looking to short. Again, $326 was that particular long level that I gave yesterday. However, this price action, because it got so close to this level, it is now off the table. If we can get another surge to the downside, you're going to look for this low pivot at 315. But ultimately, my long level is $305.25. Going in today's price action, though, I'm looking for a potential upside of $348.86. And this would be a retest of this upswing parallel channel as additional resistance. This is going to be a pretty good level going into today. URBN, I'm just going to kind of briefly go over this chart. This had earnings yesterday, so it does offer a little bit more risk. My shortable level is $80. Let me go ahead and remove this. $80.71, based on the fact that this was a previous pivot high, with knowing that price action yesterday got up to $83.30. So this would be another add level if you want a dollar cost average into this. If it closes above this on a 15-minute closing basis, price action will likely want to continue higher, and then you would stop out and look for a pierce of 85. Or if you want to continue dollar cost average, I would dollar cost average every $1.50 to $2 higher on this chart. Autodesk, here's another stock that had earnings. $316 is where it's currently trading. If we can get up to this pivot high from the 8th of September, this is where I would likely enter a short, $329.09. And then you have another pivot high at $335.48. I'm going to have to zoom out and show you where this pivot was. Look at this price action. Once you got this rejection on Autodesk, this huge fall, look at how far the stock fell from this high pivot. So when price action now gets back into the $335.48 level, you're likely to get some people who were stuck in this trade loving to get out of this. And then you have a previous gap fill in the charts at $342.27. This first level is a little bit more aggressive. Second level is a little bit less aggressive. And then the third level is a gap fill. This is definitely where I will have an opportunity to take an opportunity for a short. Again, 342.27. I know there's a lot of information in this particular chart, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a second so you can write these down, put them in your notes, and then add them to your trading view or whatever trading platform that you're doing in a little bit. All right, now let's go ahead and go into AVGO. AVGO had a nice little dip. I was actually anticipating AVGO going and breaking this $400 level yesterday. It opened up at $385 and then continued to sell. Now it's actually closing low, or it's currently trading lower than the opening price yesterday. If price action were to get back up into this $400 level, I am shorting AVGO. I think this stock is way overextended. Not only do you have this upswing trend line that it would get above periodically, but you also have this whole round number at $400 that I'm likely to take a short on. Based on the price action of AVGO, you could take a good 2, 3, even 4% from this level. Again, shortable level at $400.27. Google is another stock that I'm looking at. My shortable level on this yesterday was a pierce of $330. It ended up opening up at $326, not getting back up to the $330 level. Today, I do anticipate there still be continued buying pressure in this, especially now that we're above this upswing trend line. We're going to get one more push up. $333.07 is where my shortable level is. Depending on how price action gets up there, I could even start at a pierce of 330, knowing that $333.07 is an additional add level, and then wait for a pretty significant pullback. I still think this is coming back into around $310. This is this low pivot, or this opening price on Google. And so I still think price can go down there. If we start breaking this, look at how much downside you have. Could even head all the way down to $276, $275. This would be more of a swing trade basis. However, for a day trade, $333.07 is where I'm looking. Okay, now let's go ahead into Bitcoin. This is a potential reversal on Bitcoin. It's starting to show some signs of life on the RSI. It finally hit the 30, and now it's getting a little bit of a rebound. Plus, I have this beautiful downsloping trend line that connects a previous all-time high, and then a couple different pivots showing how much support it is. What I like about this potential setup is the price action actually dipped below this this downsloping trend line, and now it has the potential to get back above it. And when it does, price action on Bitcoin can surge. Here's this chart of Bitcoin. Look at this previous all-time high right here from the highs of January 2025. I've connected this pivot high with this price action here. You notice that it hit this level, got a bounce, hit this level again for the third time on the 22nd of June 2025. Price action then broke below it, confirmed this could be a bear trap, signaling to all the investors that Bitcoin is about done. But look at what I'm seeing on the RSI. The RSI is now it was well below 30, not putting in a bullish divergence on the RSI. However, the RSI is starting to uptick, as well as the price action. If we can regain this down sloping trend line with conviction, then you could get a move all the way back up to $100,000. So for me, my buy level on BITO today, based on the information that I just showed you in the chart, is $13.24 is where I'm looking to pick this up. This is a little bit of a gap in the charts. I'm having to play the Bitcoin chart using BITO. BITO actually has gaps in the charts where Bitcoin won't have gaps in the charts because Bitcoin is traded 24 hours a day. So I would like to take advantage of where price action could get back down to, and then make sure that I take advantage of a long position in BITO. So that's what I have for you. You guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are getting something out of this, if you guys are playing the plays from yesterday and taking advantage of it, making some money, please share with your friends, like, follow, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notified every morning at 8:45 before the market opens so you can get your levels set ahead of time. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in my trading game plan in less than 3 minutes. He's got some good information about the upcoming holiday, what that can mean for the stock market, and how you can avoid risk in this particular section of the market during this period of time. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day.